Good evening, dear friends. So today we will find out why our hands and fingers go numb. What is the reason? Many assume that anemia does not occur due to impaired blood supply, but it actually happens because a nerve is pinched. Most often, anemia of the hands occurs because a vessel with a nerve bundle is pinched. Here you see it's marked in red. In fact, the nerve is not red. I just tried to make it visible for you, so I made it red. Otherwise, the nerve is yellow, just that there is no yellow color. Red, imagine that it's yellow and it's easier for you to see. And here's the small pectoral muscle. The small pectoral muscle is located under the large pectoral muscle. And it is under this muscle that a group of nerves, which comes out between the cervical vertebrae in these intervertebral holes, forms the cervical plexus. That is, these nerves connect with each other. They pass between the scalene muscles. They are located right here. The anterior, middle, posterior scalene muscles are present. The plexus passed between them. It goes further under the clavicle, under the small pectoral muscle, and then it only goes to the hand here. Here it divides into the ulnar, median, and radial nerves. Here it already divides along the way, a little higher, a little lower. And there are several places where this vascular nerve bundle is. Why the vascular nerve bundle? As it's all part of a complex. Vessels and nerves are close. But if the vessel is pinched, you won't feel it nonetheless. It's very difficult to pinch an artery, but if a vein is pinched, for example, your hand will turn blue. Most often it happens because these nerves are pinched. And along the course of this nerve, there are two places where it can be pinched. This is after exiting the intervertebral foramina between the scalene muscles. The second, most common place is the pectoralis minor muscle. And there's a third one sometimes. The ulnar nerve often gets compressed due to a short triceps. Then these two fingers start to go numb. The pinky and the ring finger. It happens that everyone takes it off. The higher the level of nerve compression, the more, not less, you may feel. But it happens that from the small chest muscle, the little finger and the ring finger can also go numb. In short, it depends on which part of the nerve is still being compressed. The anatomical features of each person play a role. The most common cause of compression is the shortening of the small chest muscle. It most often becomes short because the muscles behind the antagonist of this muscle start to weaken. This is the rhomboid muscle, the middle and lower trapezius. Or it becomes short when the large pectoral muscle is not strong enough. Then this muscle takes on part of the load. The main function of this muscle, it can do two things. With a fixed scapula, when the scapula does not move, it participates in inhalation. We inhale and it moves these ribs that are attached. And the second function, it can pull the scapula forward here. But this is a function in the large pectoral muscle. If it can't cope with it, then the small pectoral muscle starts to get overloaded, gradually gets injured, becomes denser, and starts to pinch the nerves. Often at night, the hand goes numb. It depends on the position. For example, when a person puts his hand behind his head or raises his hands, they can also go numb. There are all sorts of fingers. So what to do with this? The first, simplest thing is to try stretching the pectoralis minor muscle to relieve this stretch spasm from it. There can be several options here. This can be done in the doorway. For this, the door will need to be opened. Stand like this. Put your hand here. And here, either you take a step forward, you'll feel the tension in it right here, or you can turn away over here to the side. You'll also feel the tension, and here you can lower your hand a bit or raise it a bit higher, and find the position where you will feel the most tension. Try one side, then the other side. You can try to stretch both at once. Also, move forward one hand at a time. During the exercise itself, you may also experience a feeling of numbness. Then you stop the exercise. If numbness occurs, you lower your hand, wait until it passes, then continue. Or you change to the other hand then. If you experience numbness here, it's better to start stretching. You've stretched. And relaxed a little bit. Stretched a little bit and relaxed. Stretched the muscle to avoid further nerve damage. Because if you constantly maintain this tension, the muscle is strained and the nerve is pinched. Both are problematic. If the numbness is constant, it indicates that the innervation is already impaired. It doesn't occur in any particular position, but is constant. This often happens when the myelin sheath of the nerve is already suffering, thins out, or disappears completely. Sensitivity is impaired, mobility is impaired. Along with that, you feel numbness. You don't feel. For example, heat, cold, pain, and weakness also appear. In this way, you can remove the shortening of this muscle itself and make the mobility of this nerve more free. This is the so-called tunnel syndrome, because the muscle, when it shortens, does not allow the nerve to move freely. Therefore, numbness can depend on the position of the hand. That is, we made some movement and this tension increased. The nerve begins to be compressed more strongly. Just like that, friends. Write comments, post something, how your numbness has decreased or not decreased after this. Try it. If it was there, it will decrease. Just like that.